I'm recording. You can go.
Oof. Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome back to Break at the Apex. Here tonight with me and Graham. Graham, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, mate. Obviously, I'm just rendering all of our other stuff that we did last, and it's killing me. It's really killing me. But it's all for you guys. So, thanks for being here. That's about it.
Yeah, guys, and welcome to the driver tier list podcast. Unfortunately, BT couldn't join us, but I'm sure for all of you guys that's missing his beautiful face, you guys will see him on next week's podcast for the race preview. Now, without any hesitation, let's get right into this. And Graham, what was your moment of the weekend for this past Qatar Grand Prix?
Mate, I've got to say, honestly, just Piastri in general, just the entire weekend has just been phenomenal. He was my moment of the weekend. Obviously, we generally like to pick a moment, but I'm just going to say he was the moment for me. Um, that's all I can say.
Okay, no, awesome. Look, to be a bit different, I also had Piastri written down here, but I have something as a backup, so that we have just a little bit of diversity. And we didn't touch a lot upon the sprint race, on the race review podcast, but honestly, the moment for me, just because we haven't really seen something that big in a while, it
Mm,
was the crash in the sprint between Hulkenberg, Ocon, and Perez. Obviously, that was not Sergio's fault. He was an innocent bystander in that accident. But props to the three drivers actually attempting to go through that specific corner three wide in a track where the corner actually slightly narrows as you
yeah,
run through the corner. And with all the dust on the track being so, I want to say,
yeah,
so present, it was an epic moment that just didn't turn out the way we would have liked for it to turn out.
100%, 100%. I personally, I can add a couple Russell moves in there, some really good moments from him as well. But yeah, I think for me, just Piastri, just pure class this weekend. So well done to him.
No, definitely. The other thing that I did write down, if I was going to be the same with you, was how Piastri outclassed Norris for me this weekend. When something was expected of Oscar, he definitely performed and showed his grit. And for me, that was very, very incredible to see from a rookie. Because, I mean, he is still a rookie. It's his first season. And like we said in the full race review, guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to go check it out. It's the video before this one. Oscar's got a very, very bright future if he keeps on this trajectory. So I'm very impressed with Oscar, just like you are.
Cool. Yeah, that's it is. I mean, geez, pretty like to be honest with you, I'm a bit worried for my boy Norris. But that's a chat for another day.
Yeah, I think all the Norris fans are worried about them. And guys, while you're at it, please make sure to drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. And or if you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure to drop us a 5-star review. And please be engaging in the comments. We would love to hear a bit of your guys' opinions as well.
Yeah.
Then heading in towards the blooper of the weekend, I'm going to go first with this one. For me, honestly, the blooper of the weekend was Sergio Perez. We know the penalties that he got in the race, and I mean just the deficit that he had towards Max in qualifying for both quali sessions and the race and both the races itself. It really was a bogey weekend from Sergio, and he's been having a lot of them recently.
100%, 100%. I mean, honestly, mate, like this guy can't get any worse. Every single race, it's the same story. And I can't. I don't have any more words for it. It's just, I'm so over it now, you know. But yeah, look, my blooper of the week was also Perez. But again, for the sake of being different, um, Lewis Hamilton. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
He did.
no,
He
that's
did
a
sort of
that's a
take
very
himself
true
out
statement.
and somewhat ruin his teammate's race, but his teammate did very well actually. Um, but yeah, for me, Lewis Hamilton definitely has to be the blooper of the week. There's just no
Mm.
doubt about it.
No, that I completely agree with. I actually think if even if they still made contact, I think if Russell didn't spin, I think it would have been hard for the McLarens to beat Russell this weekend. He was really, really in a very good space.
Yeah.
And props to Russell for falling to the back of the grid when the safety car restarted, going from P14 all the way back to P4 and just missing out on a podium. Well done, George.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here's the part that all of you wonderful viewers have been waiting for. This is something new on the channel, but we've really put a lot of time and effort into this, so we are almost certain you guys are going to enjoy this. And this is now the driver tier list. And first on our driver tier list, I just have to look a little bit in. Obviously, Max Verstappen. Graham, I want to hear from you first. Where would you place Max in our wonderful 5 bracket system?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, by time and effort, it took about 10 minutes to put the tier list together. But but it did take a lot of discussion, and it did take a lot of thoughts and ideas on how we can perfect it. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Anyways, Max Verstappen, look, week in and week out, there's literally nothing else I can really do with Max other than to put him in the next Shumi category. It's just, he just shows just every single race, bar Singapore, for example, he just seems to show a class on his own that nobody can touch him right now. So to me, Max is just the next Shumi. And I think that just goes for not just every race, but in general, he is the next Shumi. That's my take on that.
Okay, no, I do agree with you, except not for this weekend. I mean, we're used to Max winning by 10 to 30 seconds. And this weekend, I mean, even Max said at the end of the race on his team radio that, guys, this was a bit of a close call, but well done. So for this weekend specifically, I tend to disagree with you. I would like actually to put him in here, have a shoey, because he didn't dominate completely like he usually would.
First of all, let's just go through this quickly, right? Because we've changed these since the first time we tried it. So myself and
Also
BT,
true.
tried the tier listing the first time around, but we've changed it now. We've made it a little bit more specific, a little bit more fun. The next Shumi is like your tier list, like goat level. Hey, here's a Shumi. That's sort of like your Daniel Ricciardo win. It's just like a great taste. It's just the perfect race for you. Perhaps not really goat tier, but just really, really solid. The Rosberg curse, I'll let you explain that one.
Okay, so guys, the Rosberg curse, for those of you really, really in-depth Formula One fans know that anytime Nico Rosberg takes a selfie in front of a specific car or a specific team garage and he posts it on any of his social medias, that team has a horrible weekend. So that one is still, we're giving it a bit of thought. There's a few possibilities of renaming that section, but for this specific one, we're going to go with it. But maybe that one will be changed for the next podcast.
100%. And then the next one, we've got GP2 engine. That is based on the quote from Fernando Alonso about the old McLaren Honda that was really slow. So that's just basically like, okay, like we were pretty slow today. And then Go Tifi drive, which is just pretty much the most dismal drive that you can get. Which is pretty much where Perez is going to go. So can I just put him in there now already?
Yep. The Go Tifi drive.
100%. Okay, cool. With regards to Max, it's tough because I get what you're saying. My only thing is that he is untouchable. Like, he has to be in the GOAT tier. There's no one that's going to touch him, even if it is 4 seconds. The reality is that 4 seconds could have come down to McLaren just being better than what they usually are, which we definitely have seen a step up in them. The other thing is, it also might not have been Max's driving that was a problem. I'm going to say this as well. After 17 laps, he was 23 seconds ahead, and I thought that was just because of the pit stops. I thought that maybe others had pitted already, but when I looked again, a couple laps later, everybody would have had to pit by then because of the whole new rule with the 18 laps thing. At that point, he was still 23 seconds ahead. So in that first 20 odd laps or so, he pretty much pulled away and was absolutely blitzed. So I'm not really sure how the others got back into it and how they got so close to him. I'm honestly not sure how a lot of the stuff actually panned out in that race. I really want to go and watch back it, to be honest. But things just seem to happen. But for me, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to go with what you want to go. I'm happy to go with what you go with, to be honest. But I generally think anything less than a GOAT tier drive is a bit harsh on him because he's just driving so phenomenally and he's just untouchable, honestly. 4 seconds or 20 seconds, he's just untouchable.
Okay, now you've convinced me. You can put him in the next Chewy category. I do hear your statement, and I completely agree with your point. Next, Lewis Hamilton. Now this is gonna be a toughie
It's
because
not a
Lewis,
toughie
up
for me, mate.
until
Them
where did
Mercedes
you
fans
say?
can eat dust, my bro. I don't care. He's definitely not. This is not a tough one for me, man.
Okay, I understand he made a mistake, but up until the actual race, Lewis was busy really having, I wouldn't say the best weekend, but a decent weekend. It's definitely in the bottom two tiers, but go Tiffy with the silly mistake that he did make and also costing his entire team probably
I mean,
a
that's the
double
pure
podium.
definition of Latifi. I mean, he literally just made stupid mistakes and crashed the car. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Mhm.
But to be fair, from the sprint side of things, it wasn't too bad. But I think, yeah, this is probably more aimed towards the main race. And let's be honest, Latifi moments, crashing.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Soon,
Put him
soon,
alongside Sergio.
soon, or
They
next
can cry
season.
together.
Next season, this is going to be called the Sergeant Drive. Just saying.
Okay.
I'm gonna put him.
Oh
I'm gonna
boy.
put him ahead of Perez because I don't think he was as bad as Perez, even though he didn't race. I mean,
No, Perez was definitely
Perez was
the
that.
worst driver of the weekend.
Yeah, I think Perez was that bad that Lewis crashed out in the first lap and was still better than Perez.
Facts. Absolute facts.
Exactly. So
Next,
we're gonna
the
do that.
real GOAT of all time,
Now calm down.
Fernando
No, no, calm
Alonso.
down. No, no, just calm down.
Obviously,
Calm down.
oh, Graham, go with your opinion first.
Um, it's to be honest, I don't know. It was very difficult, especially for him and Leclerc. Even I actually don't even know how to rate them really because, in all fairness, I don't think they could have done any better than what they did. But at the same time, Alonso made a lot of mistakes this race.
Mm,
But he still
I
got the best. I feel like he was faster than Leclerc though. There was a time where he overtook Leclerc and he was absolutely. He made it look like Leclerc was going backwards. It was
yeah.
absolutely blitz. So I feel like maybe Alonso definitely didn't get as much out of the car that he should have because of the mistakes. But he definitely still put the car in a pretty good position at the end. So I don't want to be too harsh. Um,
Mm,
I think
mm,
maybe the Rosberg
no,
curse is fair. Um,
no, I agree. I think the Rosberg curse is fair. The Aston clearly had better of a race pace than the Ferrari, but
100%.
Leclerc just kept a cooler head. So I feel while we're on the topic of Leclerc,
Yeah.
I think have a shoey for Leclerc is decent because he got the best out of the car that he possibly could. The
Yeah,
Ferrari was
I
just that's where it was.
100%.
I don't know if you disagree.
100% agree with you. The car was just absolutely anonymous. Well, yeah, the team was anonymous. I mean, they weren't really on the on the TV much as well, and but he ended up in fifth place, and he had a fuel leak, so he did have to nurse the car, yet he still put it in a really respectable position. So I'm gonna say yes, to that. Obviously, Science we can just leave him at the bottom because he's just ungradable. He didn't even start the race.
No, it wasn't his fault. I honestly think it's the perfect opportunity to give him GP2 engine because it was an engine issue that forced
Who?
him to not even race
Science.
on Sunday.
I mean, the guy didn't even race. How do we rate the guy? Okay, GP2 engine, but that's
The
more
thing
for
is, he
if,
did have a
but
good
that's
weekend up until
more
the
for if
car
you
literally
slow though.
failed him. He didn't have a bad sprint. He didn't have bad. Well, okay, well, his qualifying for the main race on Friday was a bit appalling, but his sprint, the Saturday sprint was not really that bad. So I think GP2 engine is not too far fetched. But other than that, he needs to go into Gotifi drive probably in between Lewis and Perez.
Nah, but he didn't race though. Like we can't be too harsh on the guy if he didn't race. If we're gonna rate him,
That's what I'm saying. GP2 engine.
if we're gonna rate him, we have to rate him based on the sprint race. But I don't think that that's fair, to be honest. Um, yeah, we can't really rate him, man. Like, I don't think we can really rate him. Shame. It's gonna be too harsh to put him in GP2 engine, really, because that's not a great place to be. I think let's leave him out. Shame.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
We Carlos unfortunately was not available for this weekend. Oh, okay. Norris, you're one of your soft spots. I honestly feel Havashui. Norris didn't have the best qualifyings, and he really got that car back to where it was supposed to be, unlike Sergio Perez. So I think Havashui is a good one for Norris.
yeah. I think he also made quite a few mistakes, but mostly in qualifying, not really so much in the race. But again, I predicted this on Friday that the McLarens after qualifying, after their track limit issues, both of them that got track limits, uh, we didn't even mention the in our last episode. We didn't even actually mention the Piastri podium that got taken. Not podium. He qualified in the top three, and then they told him afterwards he didn't. That was quite intense. That must be quite bad. Shame, and he felt so bad because afterwards, when he did actually win, old David Coulthard was like, "I believe," and he was like, "Yo, you scared the hell out of me. I thought you were gonna tell me that I got track
Mhm.
limits." So, anyways, let's not ramble on too much. Lando Norris, yeah, I agree with that. I think he did well to get back up from ninth. I think is where he started. Um, I predicted that that was going to happen just simply because those cars were absolutely blitz on Saturday. And so
Yeah,
I was honestly just thinking in the main race they will make it to the front three. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Okie dokie. Next, we do have the fresh Australian Oscar Piastri. And honestly,
Come
I
on,
w-
mate, do it. Just do it, mate. Just do it.
the
Just do
next
it.
Shumi. Wow, you're putting him above Max. Okay. Yeah, Oscar really had a good weekend. I mean, he
Mate,
was helped a bit by the Mercedes colliding into the first corner, but he
who
made the
knows?
best of the
He may have
situation
passed them
and
anyways.
he kept everybody behind him.
He may have passed them anyways. Who knows? See, that car was
Yeah.
absolutely flying, my bro. That car was
No,
flying.
he
And the
was.
reason I put him
He was.
above Max is just because, let's be honest, Max should be doing what he's doing. He's got the
Also
car.
true.
It's just what makes him so good is that he does do it consistently. But
Mm,
Piastri's a rookie in a car that has only just recently become that good. Like
yeah,
you don't
true.
expect him to really understand that car yet. Um, so that's just my take on him.
Mm. Okay, next, someone we both love, Pierre Gasly. Honestly, once again, very anonymous weekend from Pierre, but also he got the same amount of penalties as Perez in the main race. So
Yeah,
honestly, I think it's a Gotifi weekend from Pierre. I know it's harsh, but I think it's a Gotifi weekend from Gasly.
I'm inclined to agree with that one. He was doing really well on pace. On pure pace, he was
Mm.
really good. He was beating Ocon at a stage as well, ahead of Ocon. He was looking really good, but just those penalties just got the better of him, um,
Mm.
and just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Don't know why that
Okay,
happened.
next is Esty Bestie. Honestly, Anonymous, I don't even know where Ocon finished, but I don't think he got points. I think it
I
was
think he did.
Alpine having such a crappy engine. I think GP2 engine for Ocon.
Are you sure he didn't get points?
I actually can't remember.
I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty certain he.
Let's quickly check here. Just give me a second, quick.
I've got it.
Hmm. Excuse for the little wait here, but I do have
No,
it here.
he came seventh.
Yes, you are correct. Ocon did come. Okay,
That's
then
actually pretty good as well for
actually
an Alpine, to be fair.
that's a shoey. That's a shoey. It's not his fault. He was anonymous thanks to the TV direction. That's a shoey performance. Well
Yeah,
done,
it's
Esteban.
not
Esteban
a bad
Ocon.
place. Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's difficult for me to really give that prediction or to give that rating because I'm not really sure what he actually did. But the fact is, he did finish seventh, which is a pretty good performance for for Alpine to be there.
Agreed. Agreed.
So yeah, well played to him. I mean,
Lance
I just like right
Stroll.
at the end, like right at the end, like he's going to be the worst of the worst. No, I'm joking.
Oh, Graham, I tend to disagree with you because if it wasn't for his penalties, he was having a really decent race after all the disappointments from the weekend. I think it was a GP2 performance
I
from Stroll.
I did say I was joking. I don't know if you might have missed
Oh,
that
sorry, I
part.
didn't. Sorry, my mistake.
Anyways, go for it. Sorry, you give the rating and then we'll take it from there.
I honestly think it's a GP2 engine rating. He wasn't like he was still miles off Fernando, even with Fernando's mistakes. But he really gave it his best shot trying to make a good comeback in the race starting P16. So
Yeah,
I think it was a GP2 engine performance, not so bad as a Gotifi one.
yeah. To be honest, I think his off-track antics have been something that were a little bit more concerning to me than the actual racing. But considering he didn't do too bad, but he was sort of still out of the points and close to the back, considering the
Yeah.
amount of. But to be honest, I love the bit of aggression that he had with Gasly and Perez at that moment. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That beautiful overtake.
yeah. Anyways, uh,
George Russell. Hmm.
so like I'm gonna like for me,
Next
I
to
think he had one of the best drives I've ever seen from him. Just simply because he
very
got
true.
pushed back down to the 14th place and he finished fourth.
Hmm.
Legit pace overtakes. His overtakes were unreal. He had the grit. He was ready. He wanted more. And
Hmm.
everything just worked well in that race. The strategy was on point. The racing was on point. I can't fault him with anything. And to go from 14th to 4th in a car that arguably isn't the best. I mean, let's be honest. It's not the second best car. It's McLaren is clearly the second best car.
No, that's
I think
true.
Mercedes possibly the third best car, but Mercedes Russell in that car did an absolutely extraordinary job this weekend.
Agreed. 100% agreed. So no, I agree with you on the next Shumi.
Cool.
Alex Albon, oh my word, this is going to be so hard because once
Oh,
again, penalties was his worst enemy, but he actually had such a good pace at stages in that race. He led the race after Max's first pit stop for a lap. I know it
yeah,
was just a lap, but Albon really, the Williams said themselves that they don't really think that they have the pace for points.
yeah,
And Albon almost did get points. It's only the penalties that cost him his top 10.
yeah.
So I think the Rosberg curse for Albon. He really had good pace. He put the car
He
in
did.
better positions than the car should have been.
He did. I actually agree with that. I was really struggling now between these bottom three because I know he's got to be in there somewhere. The penalties cost him as well, but he really did have good pace and he really was looking good as he has all year. But this track was
Mm,
clearly just a bit tricky, and obviously the Mercedes, the Williams is not the best in terms of downforce and so on. So maybe, making those tricky corners and not going over a little bit is a bit difficult for that car. But honestly,
yeah,
he was looking amazing. I agree with you. I'm happy to put him in there.
yeah, definitely. Oh, then the most irrelevant two cars on the grid, the two Hasses. First is Nico Hulkenberg. And
Mate,
honestly, he threw away an opportunity of points with him missing his starting box because Sainz wasn't there. I honestly want to put
mate,
him in in a Gotifi drive
like
because he screwed his own race.
I'm not gonna lie, I've said this before in our podcast as well, and Haas has just got to be the weirdest car on this like grid. It is
On
just
the grid.
Hulkenberg is absolutely trouncing Magnussen when it comes to these qualifying. But in the race,
Mm.
he's always next to Magnussen. Like they always end up together somewhere. I don't know if you've
True, and it
noticed
happened
that.
again this weekend.
I don't know. It's 5, 6 weeks in a row now. I don't know if you've noticed, but
Mm.
Hulkenberg always qualifies Q2, Q3, and Magnussen is like in Q1 still. He's out.
Hmm.
But but then they end up together anyways at the end of the race. So it's like Haas just goes like Hulkenberg just goes backwards. Like no wonder the Oaks
Yeah.
never had a podium because he's like he clearly I don't know, maybe his racecraft is not. I mean, it could just be the car. Like I'm just being a bit of a chop, but um,
Mm.
I don't know, man. To me,
But
I
Hashtag
think
is like a bad romantic comedy.
yeah, but look, I'm not gonna lie. I can't. I don't think Latifi is the right place to put him. It's not their fault that the car is like. It's not their fault. Both of them. GP2 engine is quite fitting to me because the car can't do any better. It's a GP2 engine.
Mm.
It's a bad car. You can't fault them. If the car doesn't have the pace, it's not like they made many mistakes. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't recall
Mm-mm.
them making many mistakes. I might be missing something. So to me, both of them
Except,
are probably GP2 engine performances.
yeah, yeah, Magnussen definitely. I'm just also thinking about obviously the whole crash in the sprint that Hulkenberg was involved in, but obviously this is more dedicated to the main race. So yeah, I think GP2 engine is a viable choice.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay, but
here is I think where we're gonna disagree. The two Alfa Romeos, Bottas and Zhou, that actually
hmm,
both scored points. I wouldn't
yeah,
say Shumi because that car is still terrible, and they did get well. Joe got the positions thanks to penalties, but I honestly think they both deserve to be in the second tier. I honestly think that Havashui to get double points in the Alfa Romeos.
yeah.
I think that was a very stellar performance from both of them.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't even realize this until you pointed it out when we did the last episode. Um, Again, they were also so anonymous. Again, you just never
Mm,
saw the Alfa Romeos, which is like an every weekend thing. So it's a very
yeah.
difficult one for me to rate. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I know you thought we were gonna disagree here, but I can't really disagree because I honestly have no opinion on these two. I did
Okay.
not see them at all. I didn't even know that they finished in the points. Um, but the fact that they did finish in the points with that car, both of them, I have to attend that maybe you're right. I have to agree with you there. So I'll go with it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Three drivers left. I think let's do Logan Sargent first because we've already done Alex. And honestly, the man didn't even finish the race. He literally got sick in the car. I honestly felt bad for Logan because he's trying to save his career, and he actually was keeping up with Alex
Yeah.
to a decent degree. And his honestly, his body just failed him. So
Oh, mate,
honestly,
I just think this guy's trying to find new ways not to finish a race. You know what I mean? Without costing the team money, because he's cost the team so much money that he needs to be creative now and find other ways to. Anyways, cool. So, my opinion on Logan is he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. It wasn't really his fault either.
mm,
I'm quite happy to go with GP2 Curse or Rosberg, GP2 engine or Rosberg Curse. I don't think he was on Albon's level, not even close. So I don't think we can put him on the Rosberg Curse. I'm quite happy to go with
no, no,
GP2 engine. I don't think he was that bad to go undergo TV. He never made many mistakes or anything. He just
no.
felt dehydrated, which,
Yeah.
to be
Look,
fair, so many
be,
of the
be,
drivers did.
no, 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 I agree. Before the actual Grand Prix, he made less mistakes than Alex. So I think GP2 engine is properly. I don't think he was on the Hamilton, Gasly, Perez level. He really just honestly his
Yeah,
body failed him. So and
100%.
he was actually. Did you see the reports post race about some drivers fainting from exhaustion after the race?
100, yeah, I saw that. But that's what
So
I'm saying. He dehydrated and he wasn't the only one.
mm,
So
yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, GP2 engine for me and Graham. When it comes to Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson, I'm gonna give these two to you. Because I've been running most of them. Where do you think the Alpha Tower should be?
again, GP2 engine for the both of them. I don't see them. You know, the Gotifi drive is a elite group of of drivers. You know, it's an elite group of drivers that you've got to be really bad to be in that category. And
Hmm.
um, I think, the fact that we put Lewis in there is quite bad, considering I've just said that, and he's a 7-time world champion. But he did cause the accident, and he was
Yeah.
at fault. And I have no doubt in my mind that if we did this tier list tomorrow, I would put him there again. Um,
Hmm.
but Disco TV driver is definitely like an elite tier that no driver should be put in there unless they deserve it. And I don't particularly think that either Lawson or Yuki deserve it. They both didn't do anything wrong. Again, I didn't see them do anything wrong because I never ever I saw them like 2 or 3 times on the actual screen.
Yeah.
So Lawson, for definitely for sure, I don't recall doing anything wrong. Yuki was in the mix from time to time with other drivers, but again, I just think that they lacked the pace. So I think
Mm.
I'm gonna go
The,
GP2
the
engine for the
car just
both.
didn't suit the track. So no, I agree. I definitely think
Yeah,
GP2 engine is the right way to go. And then unfortunately, Carlos Sainz stays excluded, which just doesn't feel right. But in any case,
it
oh
doesn't. But the thing is, I feel like it would be too harsh because we can't give him a Shui, we can't give him the next Shumi, but everything else just seems too harsh because he never did anything wrong.
yeah, he never did
And
anything.
in the sprint he was looking quite alright. So you never know where he would have been in the race itself. So it doesn't seem
Mm.
right, but at the same time, I just think the only reason why we shouldn't do it is because I think it would be harsh to really rate him. Because if we're gonna rate him, we're gonna give him a bad one, and I don't think that that's fair.
Yeah. No, agreed, agreed. So, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think of our tier list. Graham, do you have maybe anything that you are thinking double about, or are you satisfied with this?
I mean, mate, I think Stroll could go like next to me level. Um, Honestly, like the guy's genuinely like he's next, like his aggression is next to none, second to
Oh
none.
boy. Graham, unfortunately, I'm not going to allow that because the that's not what the results say. Unfortunately, one particular move
Damn,
on track cannot make you a Schumacher. Well, the
damn.
next Schumacher.
That's unfortunate, but okay, it's fine. And I'm quite happy with this. I don't think any changes need to be made.
No, I agree. So, Graham, before we leave our wonderful viewers, do you have any final thoughts heading into the next week without racing and on our way to Circuit of the Americas?
Not many, to be honest with you. If I can just say one thing, I can't wait. I love the USA race. Every single year it just seems to be a sick race. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to you guys hopefully watching these episodes, and we will bring more as much as we can. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you again soon.
Yes. Guys, again, if you guys want to see BT's beautiful face, remember to check out next week, Thursday's race preview for Circuit of the Americas. Obviously, BT hosts that, so he has to be there. I want to thank BT and Graham for giving me the opportunity to host the driver tier list. I really appreciated it and I enjoyed it a hell of a ton. It's been amazing. So thank you, Graham. Thanks, BT. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop that like down below. Don't forget to give us our 5-star review on Spotify. And if you have not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below and don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future video. It's been awesome. Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys on the next podcast.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Cheers, cheers.